Why, oh why is Nintendo keeping these sought-after titles in their vault and not releasing them onto NSO? Well, join me today as we try to put together this very convoluted puzzle up next. What's up guys, it's Kalo, and I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming, and if you're new to Game Sandwich, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content, drop a like on the video, and welcome to today's Game Bite. Alright, so NSO is a service I've been very critical on in the past. I think the service itself needs to get this very big overhaul moving forward, especially before the launch of the Switch 2. But I'll save ya from that rant today, so let's talk about this burning question I had over the weekend. And that's why on earth aren't the older Pokemon games available on NSO?
Money!
Alright, there's more to it than that, so let's dive in. With the shutdown of the Wii U and 3DS eShops, there's no legal way to obtain these titles. And you'd think at least 8 years into the Switch's life cycle by now, highly sought after titles like Emerald, Fire Red and Leaf Green, or even Platinum would be available for purchase on the eShop. And yes, since this is Nintendo, we're gonna be forking over $60 for that exact reason. And yes, I'm gonna do it every time. This idea to me is all but a layup for Nintendo, but oddly enough, I think there's something bigger at play here. And yes, Mr. Krabs, the overarching theme of this all is money. More specifically, how can the Pokemon Company bleed you dry of all of your hard-earned dollars? At face value, adding all of these games into the service will generate money for Nintendo, no doubt. But what if I told you there's yet another layer to the story? And this is the idea of Game Freak wants you to buy the newer games. The Pokemon Company and Nintendo know for a fact they're sitting on a gold mine, especially when it comes to games like Crystal, Emerald, and even Platinum. But they could also see those games as potential robbers within the market, especially when it comes to their newer set of games like Scarlet and Violet. I mean, let's be honest. Would you want to buy the $60 Pokemon games with bad reputations, or go back to the Game Boy Advanced era of Pokemon via an emulator and play Pokemon at its peak? Now you start to see what The Rock is cooking here. This also goes without saying, Pokemon itself as an IP is already on NSO, with the older trading card game and Pokemon Stadiums 1 and 2 up on the service as we speak. But again, no mainline games. While I love me some Stadium, those titles are more or less battle sims, and not mainline games that can steal the thunder from newer entries. Now with all of that being said, let's really evolve our way of thinking. This retro wave of Pokemon games coming to the Switch can still technically come our way, seeing how we got a lot of time between now and the Switch 2. And like I said earlier, I'm sure Nintendo would love to generate all that cash. But let's not forget this whole Pokemon situation is a joint venture between Nintendo, Game Freak, and Creatures Inc. So each of them have a piece of the pie and have a say in what exactly happens with Pokemon as an IP. So I think what's happening here is a little bit of a divide, and I think Game Freak wants to keep those games in the vault, unless they see something very profitable coming their way. So in a way, putting them on NSO would be selling them short, unless they get a larger share of that revenue, which we all know isn't gonna happen. Those games, one by one, are cash cows. Let alone if they actually threw us a bone here and created a generation bundle of these games. And to tie this all into a neat little bow for you guys, what could be a driving factor to not only launch a completely revamped NSO, but get more people to subscribe to the service right in time for the next generation Switch? That's right. Launching all of the retro Pokemon games on NSO to coincide with the release of the Switch 2. This gives current subscribers a reason to renew their subscription and buy the new console. And it gives even more incentives to people who have yet to subscribe, just like me. Now, I gotta admit, them completely revamping and actually improving the NSO service is wishful thinking on my part. But seeing how Pokemon Day has come and gone, I think the sole reason as to why we haven't seen these titles on the Switch this far into the life cycle is because we could be getting these titles on the Switch too. But with all that said, and before I rant even more, I'm gonna pass this question off to you guys. Why do you think we haven't gotten the Pokemon games on the Switch? And are you like me and kinda hoping they're launching this masterclass for the Switch too, and launching all those titles when the new console releases? And for the sake of giving myself a little pat in the back here, I didn't bring up 2 games specifically. I'm not gonna say them to start anew, but you guys know what games I'm talking about. But hey, drop a like and comment on this here video, and subscribe to Game Sandwich for all your gaming news, rumors, and reviews. I've been Kalo, and this has been your Daily Game Bite, and I'll see you guys next time.